Inyamurai a ba su yi Biafra, Yarba a ba su yi Oduduwa Republic, muku in Nigeria in su canza mata suna muka yi.
Lovers of freedom, seekers of justice, all people of good conscience, my very amiable good people, the wonderful people from this very area called Nigeria, a place that is not meant for human being to exist, and my wonderful and super precious fellow Biafrans. This evening I have come to you with peace and in peace, with a greeting from Chokika Biama, Ekekeri Henile Modigo Nekeria. This evening our message is such a very wonderful and super interesting one, and I crave your indulgence to just follow us painstakingly as we go. I want you, as a good lover of freedom who is listening to me this wonderful evening and this fateful day that the Lord Almighty has made for our very good and in preparation for the best days ahead, to kindly share this video and tell your friends from Asia, from Europe, from North America, from Antarctica, from South America, and from wherever, that the very reason this prisoner of conscience, political prisoner, and the liberator of his people, the lover of justice, and the very lovable fellow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is one in a million, is suffering, is incarcerated, is languishing, is isolated from human beings, is just this very reason, this singular reason of making sure that his people are treated like human beings, making sure that he brings opportunities to the very deserved.
That is why, despite all
this same reason, where you can see him here
and invention, they remain very poor.
Trying to see how he encouraged the young people of talent from Africa.
Any future Biafran
Tell your friends in wherever continent they exist from to join you in the campaign if you have any. If you have any friend from anywhere in the world outside Biafran land, tell them to join you in this campaign. That is the least they can do for you, at least. If they can't give you money, tell them to keep spreading this gospel of freedom of the people of Biafra and the freedom of our own precious fellow good and golden-hearted human that is not very common to find in our own generation.
We have Toys R Us.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu here is trying to see, before we progress, I want you to watch this video, because this evening we are very loaded, because we have a message for you. You have, as a Biafran, as a lover of peace, as a lover of justice, as a fighter, you have a duty of sharing this very message today. Get it to all those people who have allowed the enemy to infiltrate us, who have given the enemy opportunity to deal with our people, to cause tension, to cause hunger and starvation, to cause mayhem, and to, of course,
that is why
use unexisting unity, a false unity,
we all are poor,
to hold all of us together, and we keep seeing ourselves as enemies when we can easily live in our separate own countries and be good neighbors to ourselves and ensure progress
to make
in all rounds of life.
Enabling environment.
Watch this video, it will be very brief. Thank you.
Without fear of want. Do you see what Nigeria is doing to Biafrans? Our talents are being destroyed because we are in Nigeria. You can see what they have done. All over the world, in the Western world especially, you have Legoland. We have Toys R Us. These are multi-billion pound establishments. Why can't these young boys or their families enjoy the same level of quality of life as do those abroad? It's because we're in Nigeria. That is why these things cannot be showcased. That is why they cannot support him. Because we are in Nigeria. Very, very sad and very shameful. After looking at this, then you tell me to dump Biafra or to stop everything for Biafra. What should I do, sir? After looking at this, then you tell me to dump Biafra or to stop everything for Biafra. What should I do, sir? This is
okay, fellow dear friends and lovers of freedom. Once again, we are moving. You can see what is the intention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in calling for our dissolution of this entity that has really hampered our collective progress, that has hampered our living a good life like human beings, that has denied the citizens of opportunities to good survival, even those who are of unique creative abilities. This is what is very common in our land. We have so many people, innumerable population of our population, who are found in this category. People who are superbly creative, but because of the evil and unthinking government in place, not just government, because of a unity that is not necessary, which I have tried severally to call your attention to the origin of this very state, how it came to be, how it is only an enterprise in the hand of the British government. But that is not our focus today. Today, from this video, I had to do this because even the very of our best currently, those people you consider as your zoological governors, who are of Biafran origin, who are calling Fulani closer to themselves. Even amongst those of you who are praising some people called their lawyers, some of you who before now were praising people you call counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and today even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is not allowed to see what is happening in the environment, now knows that there are traitors among us who have compromised with the Fulani to deal with his people, and they are still finding way to cover up because they themselves are in alliance. They are complicit.
Benjamin Madubugu, you can
people like the Kanu whites, let me not go far. So you who is listening to me now,
Benjamin Madubugu,
please
that is the people
call people like Ikengo
and looking for way to nail
call people
the Kanu siblings
like Udene. Tell Hope Uzodimba, tell them to go and live from the history of the Yoruba people. There is a particular tradition that the Igbo ancestors share with the Yoruba people, and that tradition is what I am going to use in teaching. I am driving home this point today using the Yoruba history, which a lot of you who are historians, students of history are supposed to know. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu some time ago did a little flash point on that topical issue. Now, before we go into that issue, I want you, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please, in this channel, Biafran Radical Freedom TV, you get very educative clips, very educative one. This is where we will do very good, no blackmails, crusades. So please, kindly subscribe to this channel now. As you are subscribing, endeavor to click on the like button, click on the like. Also, share it in any platform wherever you find yourself, your platform on WhatsApp, your platform in groups on Facebook, your timeline on Facebook, your Twitter account handle, your Instagram, wherever you can lay hand on Telegram. Just share this video because we want it to get to many people. By the time it gets to them, maybe some of them will have a rethink. Because as for they are being blackmails, they are being compromised. A lot of compromise has really been carried out by our own people. But after they would have heard this, listened to this very lecture using the Yoruba history. This is a real history, not a made-up history. What is this history? You know, in the 17th century, we had there was a man. You know, we had there was two major kingdoms in Yoruba land. We have the Ife kingdom empire, and we have the Oyo empire. But at a point, it appeared Oyo empire was more prominent. Why? This is basically because they had more warriors, and the leader of the Oyo empire warrior, who was the Aron Akankanfo, the Afonjas. Mazi Nnamdi once treated this in a flashpoint manner. Are Ona Kankanfo, yes, he was the leader of the cavalry army of Oyo kingdom, and due to the fact that he was so spiritually made as a talisman warrior, he carried out a lot of expeditions and he came out victorious. So the kingdom waxed very strong, and the credit was going to the Oba of Oyo, that is, and then to him, part of the glory, to him, the Arona Kankanfo, the Afonja himself. But something happened someday. Please, if you can tag Ijele. I am particular about Ijele because Ijele did not know. You know, he sometimes claims to be very learned or grounded on Igbo traditions and customs. But I am not sure he is really. It looks more like claims. Because if he does, this young man appeared before IPOB people around 2014, 2015, and he made a vow because he was fingered that period. He was poked at because people began to suspect his moves that looks like that of a betrayer. A lot of people began to call him a sabo, and he, in a bid to clear himself, then he took a vow, he made a covenant, and he doesn't know the gravity of what he did. Before that covenant, we the Igbo people already had a tradition that you cannot betray your own people and expect a generational peace. No. So now that day he said, God forbid, any day he ever betray Nnamdi Kanu, betray the cause of Biafra, betray his people, that he said with himself that one of the biggest, the most difficult or one of the most the vow that anyone can make is or oath anyone can take is taking oath or cursing himself if he violates such laws using his own child. He said if he do this, may his children never know him, may they never call him father again. But beyond that, there is a natural force acting on the agreement of Igbo people, yes, which was given life to by our ancestors after a lot of incantation and enchantments which sealed these divine laws, because it transcended into some kind of divine laws. Okay, as we move, the Arona Kankanfo was one day summoned by the Oni that the Oni of Oyo, okay, Oni was, but the Oni. Then the Oni now told him, you will be going to Iwereile. You'll be going to Iwereile to carry out an expedition, and we want you to go and defeat, go and come back victorious. Afonja, not being very aware, he was still enjoying in the euphoria of all the recent victories. He just came in and a lot of women around him. Afonja, Afonja, the array on our Kankanfo now had to accept as usual, because it was like it was forbidden for you to refute or not to question any demand from the Oba or the king.
The power of life and death.
Now the king said, you are going to this village, you are going to conquer, and you are coming back victorious. Say, go and succeed. Then the Afonja led his cavalry team squad. On their getting to the village, the entrance of the village, he remembered, don't lose focus, we are treating something. He remembered that this is a particular village that even the king knows that he, from his part of the village, is not supposed to draw sword with, because there is a long-standing law, traditional treaty, backed up with strong spiritual force, that somebody from Afonja's community cannot on any account draw sword with someone from Iwerile. And when he now remembered, he flashed back to the stories he was told by his father of what happened to warriors who attempted this, and he realized it was done on him, that the king has actually sent him on a suicide mission. What is it? He was there, he hanged and lodged around, they set their tent. While there was a little delay, the king sent a servant from the palace with an eunuch from the palace to deliver a message to Afonja, to inquire why he has not come with the result. Afonja asked him, he asked the servant, the eunuch from the palace, do you not know that it's an abomination that comes with irreparable consequence for me, from my village, to draw sword with the people of this village, Iwerile? And this man said, the servant, the eunuch, replied to Afonja, and you know one thing about a man who has really had so much blood in his hand, blood enters their head and they are drunk. They go under the influence of blood charging every now and then, and they are always hyper. Now this eunuch asked him, am I supposed to be loyal to you, to be afraid of you, or am I supposed to be afraid of the king, who is all powerful and all influential? Now Afonja paused and said, can you repeat yourself? What did you say? Repeat. I'm all ears. And the man repeated, am I supposed to be loyal to you? Am I supposed to be under your bidding, do what you say, or that comes from the throne that is so hallowed? And Afonja said, today, since you are not afraid of me, I will teach you a lesson that you will take to your ancestors, who are junior to my own ancestors, direct to my kindred. And Afonja, he called the man in his team, who is the chief slaughter, and in Yoruba language it's called Aberi. Aberi is a man whose sole responsibility is to take the long sword and chop off the neck of offenders, people who are found not to be in consonance with the whims and caprices of Afonjas, and sometimes of his masters, most times, who is the king of Oyo. Now, the Oyo Mercy was received a spiritual signal there. They were troubled and were about sending other to go and check for the one that has delayed. Now, what happened was that Afonjas looked up, looked down. There is something common amongst warriors. A warrior never wants to be seen a coward. Because of this, he had to continue with his mission, which is this village, here we come. He led his cavalry army. They stormed the village. Upon coming, there was calmness, there was breeze of peace. And the king of Iwerile welcomed him, even seeing that the atmosphere was so charged and unpeaceful from the side of Afonjas. He said, "So what do we owe your visit, Afonjas?" Afonjas told him. Now, Afonjas said to him, "I was brought here on a mission to get your head and destroy your kingdom." And the king replied that all my life as a king, I have stood and operated with fairness. My reign has been with so much transparency. So the gods of the land are so much in peace with me and my government. My reign is so well welcomed because I enjoy the popularity of my people. So what do I owe this mission to execute me?" Afonjas was touched by this speech, and he looked into the eyes of the king, and he saw a man who is so peaceful and who fulfills his obligation of a king to his people. What Afonjas did was, he said, "Hey, come ye, the new servants that were sent by the king to know what is happening. Go and tell the king of Oyo Empire, tell him that he sent me here to come to commit suicide, but that he, Afonjas, the Arona Kankanfo of the cavalry army, the most feared army leader in the whole of the world, because he was thinking there was no much, it wasn't a global stage where there are much other people that exist outside your coast. He was the most powerful. How would you send me to come for a suicide mission? He said, before I get back to Oyo Palace, please kindly commit suicide. There was a sacred calabash that is always in every palace. Even that calabash was given to the king of Iwerile. But when Afonjas saw that the man, and there was a statement from the king of Iwerile, he said, "If after you have known that I have performed my duty, discharged my duty as a king with due diligence, with sincerity, and you still want to go ahead to kill me, please, you can do well to chop off my head." He staked his neck. That was when Afonjas said, "Hey, hold it there," because the guy, the Aberi, the slaughterman, his hand is always itching him to bring down his heavy sword. And what happened? That was when Afonjas now delivered the keynote, the message to the Oba of Oyo. Now the Oyo Mercy got the message. They call the government of Oyo the Oyo Mercy. That is the powers that be. The Oyomesi got the message, and the king said, who dare challenge the authority of the supreme king of Oyo? And he said, no problem. He did not deliver my message. Upon that, he has threatened to kill me. You know what the king did? Just follow me. He went to the mountainside with a calabash because he understands a fetish power so much, so very well, just like the Afonjas himself. So these were all spiritists. Now he took the calabash. He removed the constructed footwear and was on his barefoot. He removed his robes, the animal skin he had on him as a cloth. He looked toward the sky. He lifted the calabash. He began to lay curse the whole of Yoruba. He said that since this young man did not respect his throne, because he feel the sword is in his hand and the army are in his command, because of this, that he is going to cause, he laid curse on the whole of Yoruba land. So the tents shall be scattered and never together.
The Yoruba people as a collective, because we are a disparate lot, from the Igbominos to the Jeshas to the Ekitis. You mustn't forget that we fought the longest civil war known to the history of man. The Yoruba nation was in turmoil for decades, almost 100 years before the British came and settled the intra-ethnic warfare that was going on in Yoruba land.
The particular village where Afonjas hails from, which made him not to deliver his message to the Werile people, said that that village will remain servants to servants. You get the word? Servants to intruder servants. It will not even be that they will be servants of their people, of the Yoruba people. No, they will be servants to servants. And this eventually came to pass. When Afonjas came back and the king was yet to commit suicide, he called on his Eberi, the slaughterman, to pull down the sword, and that was the end of the... Okay, they told the Oyo king to open the calabash, and when you open the calabash, that means you are sent on exile from where you will die. The man eventually from there, that was the end of that part of the story. He served on that exile, and from there he died. Now, Afonjas, who is still full of blood, now became so powerful. He took over the reign, became so powerful. His armies became more powerful too. Until a day, I might pause it, let me pause it here, then connect to the story that happened, because I want to maintain the date when these things happened. It was in 17th century. Now, there was a linking story. In this 17th century also, very late 17th century, the Borno Empire, they were equally traditional worshippers. They were traditionalists. They were nothing like Muslim Christians this period. As traditionalists they were, a man visited them in late 17th century, and this man's name was called Ottoman Danfodio. When he came pretending to be in peace, and they cohabited for a while. A day came, he was gradually introducing his religion upon seeing that these people are pagans. Now he was beginning, they were not very large in numbers, but gradually trying to bring gift items to entice a lot of the members of the community, of the kingdom of Borno. And that time there was the name of the king in reign was Mayo. From the name you will see that these people were not naturally Muslims. Mayo has no link to Islam. Now they said, Mayo said, I am not comfortable with the way you are infiltrating my empire, my kingdom, with your religion. We have our own practices already. Bringing this one will divide my kingdom. I don't want it. The man appeared to hear him. Before a while, he started again. One day, the king, Mayo, confronted the Ottoman Danfodio, who came with his troops, warriors too. Although not in very large numbers, it was small, they were gradually coming. Now when they came in, what they did was, he told the Mayo now told the king, if the Ottoman Danfodio, if you really want me and my people to join your faith, your religion, there is something we will do. I am going to keep this treasure in your comfort zone, in your security, in your hands, in your custody. And he gave him those treasure. He now sent few of his guards along the week to go and steal those treasure again from the Ottoman Danfodio. The guards succeeded, they stole the treasure, and now Bayo said this is the end. Before Bayo could make the pronouncement of this is the end of your religion, please leave us in peace, Ottoman Danfodio now went and carried out his mystic powers, his magic, and he called back those treasure to his confine, to his custody again. And Mayo was so amazed. But because he was already decided in his mind never to allow the Muslim practice, insisted. He said, even though you have done this, please, I want you people to leave our region, to leave our kingdom in peace. Please, do that now. Now, Ottoman Danfodio and his people left for about, for a while, period ranging within 20 to 50 years, they came back. When they came back, it was already 18th century. Now they were beginning to fast advance to Sokoto, advance to all the, and you know, that was why as a time we have Ife kingdom, we have Oyo kingdom. We also had in the northern part, as at then it was hitherto the Sokoto Empire. Now he advanced to Sokoto and Gwandu. Then he had his bases in South Substance. Before he knew it, he slaughtered within this period of time when he now came back, he was busy planning an attack. He took his time, so many years, so many decades to plan an attack. And bringing some of his Sudanese people into the Bono kingdom. Then they carried out the attack. That was how they stepped in before they came in peace. Why I am saying this, keep following this and connecting this story. The Fulani comes like peaceful people. They lie low, they study you, they get your strength, they get your weakness before they will strike. Remember, we have a story we post about Yoruba people. Now, after this, what next they did was advancement. Now, there is a particular warrior. There was a particular warrior in that Ottoman Danfodio's team. He was called Alimi. Now, Alimi, they advanced towards the area we know as Kwara State today, or your state. Now, when they advanced there, remember that Afonjas of the cavalry army already executed his king, banished, and he was now in charge. So power drunk, then he contracted the Alimi, who were like in their normal nomadic way, moving around with cattle and carrying arms like soldiers. Now he contracted them to further help him fight his war. These are where you will now get serious with connecting this story with the reality in Biafran land now. To fight is war. Now you ask yourself, who are you fighting? Who are these enemies that never ends? You are always fighting enemies that never ends. Who are they? They are, after all, his own brothers, Yoruba brothers. Now, Alimi brought his troops. But before he brought it, I will now tell you how he brought his troops. After the Oyo king was executed, Afonjas had a dream. In that dream, his father appeared, and his father talked to him in that dream, but he didn't decode. He didn't get what he was, the message very clearly. And now he took it to Ifa. That was a chief priest in Oyo, a very reputable chief priest in Oyo. Now Ifa also explained to him that what was the dream. He saw where he was having cattle. Now you see how this dream connects very well. He used the cattle, which is always the business of the nomads, the Fulani people that are now his soldiers, that was about being his soldiers unknown to him. Now he saw his cattle, he saw these cattle, he said his own cattle was tiny, they didn't look very healthy. Now he saw another cattle under the management of another shepherd, so to say, and these ones were very plumpy, very healthy looking, and he then decided in that dream to abandon his own cattle and go for the one healthy. After he had asked the Ifa priest to interpret this dream, Ifa priest told him that you are not supposed to allow those ones, these are your own, keep them, time will come you will develop them to get healthy again. He refused. Now in no time this dream materialized to the visitation or emergence of the Alimi, the Fulani commander, military army commander, and his team. Now what he did is he disbanded Afonjas, disbanded his squad, his soldiers. He disbanded them and now welcomed his new friends, the contracted friends, which is Alimi and his group, just like we have Wagner group. Now Alimi, as a normal traditional Fulani man, pretended so much to be in peace, to love him, to be helping him. He would give him things he thought he needed, and the services of good military. Remember, Afonjas was a very brave and very big warrior who rarely lose any battle. Now Afonjas at this point was getting victory records from Alimi and his groups. They were busy fighting wars and winning wars for him. Now what Afonjas did was now trying to send message to his former squad that they can do anything at this point. They can farm, they can do anything, that their services are no more needed. Now the Fulani Alimi helped him to do this. Now he dispersed his own military, had less concerned attitude towards his own people, and eventually there was no more wars, no more enemies for him to fight. Then the Alimi and his team had no more, they now became idle people. Now because they were idle, they now started going to people's farm, stealing things. And you remember how they operated. Since when there was war, they were fight and enemies for them to fight. When they go, they conquer those people, they come back with the loot of the war, they divide it into percentage, 50%, while Alimi and his people take. Sometimes Alimi people will just take a little that is enough for them to eat, to keep gaining the trust of Afonjas. And Afonjas was deceived by all of this. He didn't know that the Fulani man is a strategist who can neglect money. Money, like our people will not be able to ignore money to take necessary steps. When they tell you sit at home this period, because it is strategic action. A lot of people wouldn't want to listen to politicians who sponsor media blackmails. Let's not deviate now. Now Afonjas came up one fateful morning and saw that there was so much complaint in the palace. Everybody, many people, many families coming, crying, complaining how their farmlands have been so destroyed. You know what the Fulani are doing today in the present day Nigeria did not start today. They target people's farmlands. They go into people's farmland, they destroy things, they destroy their crops, steal their crops, and then rape the women of Oyo land. The same thing that we suffer today in Biafran land that made Mazi Kanu to step up. They rape, so their rapist nature is not a today issue. So now Afonjas said, Alimi, what is it I am hearing of you? You people have descended so low to stealing, to becoming common criminals. You even go as far as raping my own people. You have become so powerful that you can do these things in my own land. Alimi smiled and said hi in an unserious attitude. Said, Boss, Your Highness, sir. You know, my people, these men are men of war. They have nothing else to do. They have, I am not, don't think that this is, I am done with this. In case it's not, I'm not getting the message from here. This is an age-long story. Now, these are factual, real-life story. So, he said, you people should understand that you can't do this in my land and I watch you. The man said, these people are men of war. They don't have any other thing to do. They don't have more fights. They don't have more battles to fight. And there are no loots for them to enjoy. Would they go starving? They can't, of course. And they said to Afonjas, you just better look for war for us so that we keep these people engaged and also eating. When they are idle, they will keep doing these things. So Afonjas said, okay. Tell them that they must all disappear with immediate effect if they don't stop this. I am going to execute all of them. The man laughed. Said, you bros, Your Highness, he never reach like this now. You don't need to, it's not necessary. Because Afonjas has understudied him the way Agui Ironsi was understudied and refused to heed to the counsel of the wise men like Ojukwu himself. Afonjas now began to say, oh, it is time for me to go and look for my brothers, so my army, my cavalry brothers. So now Afonjas sent a circular and Alimi was already prepared with his men. And the war was getting serious. The king, the priest, the chief priest of the Oyo Empire, which was Ifa told him, if you don't want to die, please make sure you are not stepping outside your house. Don't go out on any account. On any account, no matter how the war will look difficult, how serious it will look, no matter what you feel, no emotions should be allowed to come into your heart. Because if you go out, something terrible will happen. Afonjas, who is always full of himself, oh, after all, I am a man of war. I have no rival. I am the best of the best. Afonjas was, and already, Alimi already knew his weaknesses, knew that this man was even getting old and tired. Alimi said, leave that bluff. Now, by this time, the members of the cavalry has already, but they moved on. Now, when they eventually rallied round, coming, Afonjas was leaving his house. His wife told him, Oga, you are not going anywhere. You are not going anywhere. I don't have a clear road for you. The feelings I have is that of danger. So don't go. The wife was not there when the Ifa told Afonja not to go out. But Afonja, as a stubborn warrior he feels he is, had to go. When he go, this Alimi was just targeting only him. And he drew his bow and struck it. It pierced to the heart of Afonja. That was the very moment that Afonja went down on his knees, and other arrows was flying from the army of Alimi to the same man, which showed that Afonja was a really strong man, because he was standing on his knee to give up the ghost, because he was a man of war. Now, Alimi quickened a process of to banning an emir in the land of Oyo. That was the genesis of the emirship, the emirate system that is in practice in Oyo system, Oyo Empire. That is why today, instead of them having Oba of Oyo, they have emir for Oyo. Can you connect this story? Your brothers they went on. Kanu in other state particularly started it. He welcomed the Fulani, and a time came when the Fulani had to rubbish him. Tell all of these people in your land, tell all of these people, tell Hopododima, tell them, tell Ijele, tell all these people who are fighting their own brothers today. Tell China Samura slave. Tell all of them the story of Afonja. Tell them that any man who sell his people, any man who betray his people, will always pay in a very rough coin, if not today, tomorrow. When Afonja was doing this, it took him so many years to get to the level he came when he was helpless. Before the troops, Afonja's troop could get to the war zone, Afonja was already on his knees without his ghost. What are you waiting for? Are you not now sharing this message to get to? Make sure it gets to all these betrayers in the DOS, all the betrayers in Igbo land, all the betrayers in the whole of Biafran land, all the people who are welcoming the alien people, working against their own people, welcoming the enemies, not knowing that the enemy that looks like one person today in a Fulani antics will eventually spread out to get to thousands. And they are busy studying and understanding your strengths and weaknesses. What are you doing? Are you not spreading this gospel? Are you not sharing this gospel? Are you not partaking in this evangelism? Tell those your friends in all the continents of the world that we are Biafrans, that we understand our tradition, we know what is best for us. We are tired of this unity that will allow a people who are terrorist oriented to be in the same country with us, and because of the reason of we sharing one erroneous document they call a constitution, which is not even unilaterally drafted, which is having different parts for different people and special treatment and preferences for certain people, while others and the rest of the country members are treated as if they are not important. Their issues are treated with so much levity. That was why I have another video. I will now do that. It's going to be about what is hitting, why everybody is complaining, Hajatu, and what she presented to Bola Ahmed Tinubu then. So you have to follow me. We are coming. We are loaded. We want you to tell these people, spread this gospel to all social media warriors, to all content creators, make sure you popularize this particular message so that they will know that there is no gain being an Afonja to your people. That day you accept that role of an Afonja, you will go ahead to destroy. There are parts of this story that you have to connect. When someone sends you on a suicide mission, no matter what price that is involved, ensure that you don't consider the monetary enticement. No matter what enticement that is involved, no matter what monetary gift and gain that is involved, make sure that you don't go against those vows, those laws reached by ancestors, which are binding on all of you. Make sure that you don't go against or fighting your own people who mean well for their people. Imagine someone waking up and saying Nnamdi Kanu is his problem, while this is what you have seen that Nnamdi Kanu mean. While Nnamdi Kanu, all he means is how we will get a better life, how we will all have a useful and have opportunities to surviving better and living well like our contemporaries all over the world, like what is obtainable in Europe especially. Why not we all take this message to the expected end? Why not we make sure that all these people involved, which some of them today have seen, how Rocha Okorocha, after everything he did to patronize the Fulani, everything Nnamdi Kanu did, and he brought mayhem, brought very big mayhem upon his people, where the Fulani people took over the forest of Abia State, especially within the Umuchias, the axis, where the terrorists are operating, kidnapping our people, taking ransom on daily basis, when we even have military checkpoints all over these places, from 10 poles away, sometimes 4 poles, you will see one checkpoint, from checkpoint to checkpoint, and within this same forest where they surround, kidnap activities by terrorists goes on, where they even kidnapped a Methodist prelate, Sundenban. That is why I want you to take the message of Afonja and relating it well to what is happening. When someone tells you to go and commit suicide against your people, when you refuse, what action you take next, even when you find a point of divergence, when you have divergent views, you must not fight your own people who are fighting for sincerely, who are sincerely fighting for the cause of their people. You must not be found in any way close to fighting your people who mean well. You violate the natural principles, you violate the spiritual laws, you violate the ordinances of the land, and you cannot face the wrath of the gods. Thank you, fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom, as you welcome this in good faith and share it to your friends. Take the good message of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu means, which is just a better livelihood, which is just to give a better life, a good living standard, and a working environment to his people. That is just the reason he is suffering all manner of fates that is nefarious today. That's for our sake. Spread the gospel to them, your friends in Africa, your friends in Asia, your friends in Antarctica, your friends in South America, North America, your friends in Europe. So spread the gospel. Let it go like a wildfire. Thank you, fellow dear friends, and this is Akpan Asokwo from Biafran Radical Freedom TV, and we are hoping to also revive our 12 TV account. In no time, we might be giving you some other updates from that part of our media house. Thank you. This is the way we stop, and until we meet in the next video. Thank you. Bye.